Welcome to Senior Insights. Come on in. Bring your coffee, bring your muffins, bring whatever you have. I didn't know what to talk about today. I know I told you that I had so many things whirling around in my brain, and I do. And I have some good videos planned. But I had to get this off my chest because I saw a different person than you see, and that I've been for, for a long time now. I have to tell you a little background. I have a certain company that provides me internet service, like probably most people do. And because of the location of where I live, I have had multiple problems with the internet breaking down and having to have it fixed. And they've actually been pretty prompt about it. But this, of course, was just before Memorial Day weekend. And I knew that it was going to be potentially a problem. Now, in the past, when I've had this done, I've also had other issues like no power, my hot water heater stopped working, and there were several other things. A tree fell on the power line, and I literally was having a nervous breakdown. I was really getting really upset. And I was seriously questioning. I was saying out loud to everybody that came near me, I don't know if I can stay in this house. I don't know if I can do this, blah, 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 blah. Well, I survived that. And I thought about it, and I learned a lesson. And the lesson was that there's nothing that you can do about it. People are doing the best they can to rectify the situation. I handled it the best that I could. And the thing that I learned from it is that it all worked out and that I did survive. So I thought I was all set for any future issues like that. That's not to say that I haven't been concerned about whether I can stay here or not for too much longer. But anyway, so Friday the power goes out, and right away those feelings flew into me, that anxiety. And I called the company. I waited for an hour. Finally, I get someone, I can't understand a word she says. She's from the Philippines, I think. It's not that she wasn't a nice person. It's just that I could not understand her. And she couldn't understand me because my cell phone, doesn't have any reception in my house. So she was getting every other word. And I said, I have to go outside to get some reception. It's freezing out. It's windy, freezing. And finally, the reception for her cleared up enough so that she felt she could understand me, or she could hear me. So then she starts telling me, okay, I want you to unplug the modem and the telephone thing. I said, do you understand what we just went through? We went through trying to communicate on my cell phone, which is my only method of communication right now. If I go in the house and do those things that you're asking me, you're going to be saying, you're breaking up, and then we're going to get disconnected and you're not going to call me back. And she said, of course I'll call you back. I said, no, you won't. I said, this has happened to me twice before, and it did. Where someone had me on, it said, I'm going to put you on hold and I'll be right back, and they never came back. I don't know if anyone else has had that, but it could be that I'm just a crotchety old lady, but I said, no, I am not going. I said, I will go in, I will keep this phone, my cell phone on me, and I will do the things that you're asking me to do, even though I have done them before already, like I told you. I'm getting really annoyed here. Anyway, so I do them, and of course nothing happens. So she said, well, I think that there might be some problems in your area. So I live in Maine. And she says, we seem to be getting a lot of calls from Maine. So I said, well, is it a system-wide problem that can be fixed from the road? Well, I don't know, ma'am. Well, if it is a system-wide program, do you think that they'll fix it soon? Well, I'm not sure about that, ma'am. I'm going to send a technician out to you. And I said, good, I need a technician. The earliest I can get is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days that I would be without internet. Really 4. When things like this happen, I always exaggerate. It always seems much worse. So I said, that is not acceptable. I need this now. I said, I have a job on the internet, and I have to do stuff on the internet. She said, I'm sorry, ma'am. So I said, okay. But after I got off the phone, so she set me up the appointment, but after I got off the phone, I was kind of shocked at my behavior because I was sounding kind of pathetic. I was sounding kind of like a grouchy old lady that couldn't take care of herself, that was letting something like a stupid thing like the internet control my whole life. And all of a sudden, I decided, I took some really deep breaths. Have you ever tried taking deep breaths? I used to teach people how to take deep breaths when I was a nurse. And I would do it along with them, and I would be surprised how good it felt. You just take, and you can actually feel your body relaxing. So you take 3 deep breaths when you start feeling anxious like that. But see, I didn't do that while I was feeling anxious or before I had contacted that person. I did it after, when I was processing the whole thing, which was still good because it helped me to get a grip on things. So I did my deep breathing. Then I made myself a cup of tea. And I read my book. Now you see, I was close to the end of my book. And I read my books through Kindle, on my Kindle. And I knew that if I finished my book, I wouldn't be able to get a new one because of the internet. Now I know people are going to say, well, I prefer to read a hardcover book, and that's fine. I understand that. I like reading hardcover books too. This is so much more convenient, except when you don't have any internet. So I didn't feel as though I could read as fast. I kind of speed read. I don't know if that was something that was taught to me, but I've been doing it forever. I can read a book in a day, you know. I'll start something, and now if you ask me what the book was about, I might not be able to tell you, but I can read it and I can enjoy it, and I can get something out of it for the time being that I'm reading it. So I was worried about not getting a book. Then I said, well, I think I can watch Dish because I still pay for the subscription to Dish because I was in one of those contracts where they punish you if you get out of it early. Well, I turned Dish on, and there's this big black sign on it, on the screen, that I can't get beyond. It's telling me how to set up Dish. So I take some more deep breaths. And I close my eyes and I say, are we going to survive this? Yes, we are. We are. You did videos for people, showing them how to control their anxiety, how to avoid anxiety and stress. So you should be able to get that under control, get this under control. So I did, and I had an appointment on Tuesday, which of course the technician was coming on Tuesday to fix the Wi-Fi. Well, this appointment that I had, does not like you to cancel appointments. It's a 60-minute or a 90-minute appointment. It's $150. It's for audiology. And so if you cancel within, a certain period of time, you're liable to pay the $150. Well, I'm not in a position to just throw $150 away. So on Saturday, I called, and of course, I just got the answering machine. But I felt like that was ample time to cancel an appointment on Tuesday, even though I felt really guilty about it. I felt guilty about it because I knew I was trying to manipulate the system, but I didn't want to pay $150. So I told them that something had come up and it was kind of an emergency situation. That's a lie. But it sort of was. I didn't have any internet. I couldn't do my job. So anyway, I canceled the appointment. I go to bed that night, and in the morning, the internet is back. So now I've canceled my appointment, but I do have internet. So I've been thinking about this off and on since then, because I was really surprised. I thought I had my anxiety and dealing with stress under control. And I have most of the time. But this sent me right back into it. If I had let it go, I'd be probably crying on the floor, calling up my son, I can't do this. Anyway, I know that you folks probably have had experiences like this. Sometimes time pressures can set us off. I know when I have to go, my video about going to the doctor, I'll think about it for a whole week before, and then the day of, I can't do anything else except it's the doctor visit, or it's the dentist visit, or it's grocery shopping, whatever it is. That is the focus of the whole day, and that's all that I can do. Is very kind of controlled. If there's a change in your routine, that will sometimes trigger it. For example, I have been recording videos every single day. So now I can't record them, and I don't think I'm going to be able to record them for 5 days. Well, that made me crazy. Now, I'm exaggerating. But in some ways, I'm really not. It made me crazy. Sometimes when you feel like a lack of control, I like to be in control. I'm independent. You can tell just by my videos. I boss you around. I give you assignments. I tell you, okay, now do this. And I like to be in control. I've always had an authority, a position of authority. Let's say it that way. And I've just always been like that. So if you find yourself where you don't have lack of control, like I couldn't get my phone to work, I didn't have the internet, I had to wait an hour, and then I couldn't understand this woman, and she was making me do unrealistic things that I had already done, that I had already told her. She wasn't getting the fact that I didn't have the phone. All those things just really boiled up into an anxiety. So then I said, well, What have you told other people in the past how to deal with it? Well, it's prevention. Prevention is the biggest thing. Don't allow yourself to get into those situations. Well, you can say that all you want. I can say that all you want, but you can't control every situation in your life. You can't control the internet going out. And yes, it was a system thing on the road or something. So I think it's really important to really kind of analyze all these situations so that you can figure out what was so terrible about it, what sent you over the edge, how you can avoid it in the future, and what you can do about it. Sleep. You have to get enough sleep. You have to make sure you're sleeping well. I know that there's a lot of people that watch this channel that don't sleep well. There are some people that make comments in the middle of the night. Now, I don't know where they're located. You know, the time zone is probably different. But other people that don't go to bed till 2 a.m. and then they get up at, say, 8, that's not enough sleep. Or like a lot of elderly people, you have to get up in the middle of the night to go pee, then you can't fall asleep, whatever. Balanced diet. I'm terrible about this. I don't eat a decent meal once a week, maybe, because I don't like to cook. Probably it's because I don't like to eat alone. I don't like to clean up. So when I do cook, I make large quantities so that I can eat that the whole week. I've been eating chili every single day. And I got a roast chicken the other day, so I've been making egg salad. Chicken salad. That's been my lunch every day for the last 4 days. So that's not really a balanced diet. It's not a good diet. It's okay. Chili is good for you. So is an egg salad. But not enough vegetables. You have to let negative thoughts not in. You can't let them in. I am one of the most negative people you'll ever meet. I know it doesn't seem that way maybe with my humorous stories, and I'm telling you, you are a walking, talking miracle, and you are, and I mean it. But I still do have a real negative streak. I work on it all the time. I try to reframe them so that they're not as negative. Take care of yourself. I hear a lot of people, I don't wear makeup, I don't wear bras, I don't do this, I don't do that anymore. Well, I don't know if that's the way you were your whole life. That's okay. But the more that you take care of yourself, the better you'll feel. So, comb your hair. Get some cherries in the snow. Put on a dress and instead of staying in your pajamas all day, or a pair of slacks or whatever. Take breaks during the day. I work for 1 minute and sit for 3. That's what I do. And it works. So, the other thing is to learn how to say no. Just say no when you don't want to do something that aggravates you. So, when you have anxiety, for the moment, when I was talking to that woman on the phone, and she was making me insane, I should have been taking some deep breaths. she was very good to me. She put up with a lot because I was not. And then I would say, I'm sorry, I know it's not you, but I just can't help it. Anyway, try to visualize things in a positive way. I could have looked at that whole situation totally differently instead of saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I have to get on the computer. I have to do this. I have to do that. I can't watch TV. How about, well, it's probably lying down, up on the road, and they're out working on it. It's nighttime. They'll probably be at it first thing tomorrow, and it'll be fixed tomorrow. There are other ways of looking at things. So I don't know what the purpose of this story was, but thank you for listening. And I'd love to hear your comments. Does anyone else feel like they go nuts sometimes with anxiety? Does a little thing throw you off? That's really why I prefer to stay home, because it's a method of self-protection. Anyway, thank you. Please comment and consider subscribing, and I'll see you tomorrow when I'll have something good to talk